Und damit kommen wir zum Finale der Happy Bet European Darts Trophy 2017. Und wir freuen uns ein letztes Mal auf die aktuelle Nummer 32 der Welt, der jetzt sein zweites European Tour Finale spielt. Er ist mit Siegen über Jamie Caven, Keegan Brown, Michael Smith und Kim Heibrechts in dieses Finale gekommen. The Voltage, Rob Cross! Rob Cross fordert die Nummer 1 der Welt heraus. Er könnte im Falle eines Sieges seinen 20. European Tour Titel einfahren. Und er hat im Turnierverlauf gerade mal 5 Legs abgegeben. In Runde 2 sich gegen Soran Lerchbacher aus Österreich durchgesetzt. Im Achtelfinale Stephen Bunting bezwungen. Im Viertelfinale gab es ein 6:0 gegen Joe Cullen. Und zuletzt im Halbfinale den Erfolg über Simon Whitlock. Herzlich willkommen dem aktuellen Weltmeister MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen.
It all comes down to this. A record crowd for a German darts event. 3,524 fans crammed into the Lokale in Göttingen in Germany for the final of the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy, the last tournament and the European Tour of 2017. And it sees the best player in the world against the best newcomer we have ever seen in PDC darts, as Mighty Michael van Gerwen goes up against Voltage Rob Cross. MVG has blasted his way through to this final today. He has only dropped 2 legs in the 3 matches he has played on this final day of Euro Tour action. Rob Cross has only dropped 6 himself. It's not been shabby from the former electrician, a man who only turned professional at the start of the year. But that 110 average from Michael van Gerwen in a semi-final win against Simon Whitlock sent out a message to everyone, including Rob Cross, that he is here to win a 6th Euro Tour title of the year, to match his tally from last year. The world #1 takes on this sensational newcomer in the showpiece of the European Darts Trophy. I'm Dan Dawson, Paul Nicholson, the asset alongside me for the last game on the European Tour this year.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Rob to throw first. Game on.
Game 1, indeed. Paul Hinks gets us underway, and no hair on Paul's head, no hair on Rob's head, no hair on Michael van Gerwen's head. Probably a good sign, because if Rob Cross wins this game, Michael van Gerwen will be electric shocked.
It may be the baldest Euro Tour final we've seen this year. Will it be one of the best? They have clashed in a Euro Tour final already this year. Rob Cross went into that final averaging 105 for the tournament, but just could not sustain it against Michael van Gerwen. Has he learnt from that?
139.
But he is the kind of player that does learn very, very well. He's the kind of player that can rebound very well, a la Michael van Gerwen. What are we in for now? I'd love to see a 6-5 to finish us off on the European Tour this year.
Well,
95.
he leaves the 170 in the very first leg, and he may have to have a pop at it.
91.
They both leave the 170. An explosive start to this final? Could be. We won't see it from Rob Cross.
98, Michael Ricard, 170.
Will we see it from MVG?
No, we won't. Just noticed a little bit of a
Robbie Ricard, 72.
bit of aggression on the face of Rob Cross with that 98, as if to say, that's not enough. I've got to play better than that. I've got to assure myself of more shots at doubles. I've got to hit singles.
Wow. First leg in a final against the world #1. You cannot go missing big numbers.
40.
Because that has left Michael van
74.
Gerwen a real chance to get a break of throw. 20 for tops.
54.
Well, he's got away with it. He's got to put it out of his mind. Doesn't matter as long as he hits this one. And he does hit it. He's been deadly on double 16 this weekend, Rob Cross. The Sussex man. Plan A executed so far. Get that first leg, get on the board. Now, next thing is to break him.
Well, he won the ball, so he doesn't need a break, but you cannot give Michael van Gerwen a sniff, because you just feel that there's a 12-darter always around the corner, maybe even better than a 12-darter. He's thrown plenty of them this weekend.
60.
13 titles won by Michael van Gerwen this year. He's been in a number of other finals, but the only people to beat him in finals this year are the world #2 Peter Wright and the world #3 Gary Anderson.
120.
Just the 120. That one not sticking in the board, must have caught the flight.
96.
Well, curiously, Dan, van Gerwen has not started as rapidly in this game as he has in previous games today.
Well, he's already lost as many legs as he has in any of the games he's played today.
100.
He came back from his break when he became a dad in August and won the next 2 European Tour events. He won
100.
in Maastricht, only dropping 10 legs over the course of the tournament. He then followed that up the following weekend, only dropping 6 legs. That is a record on the European Tour. He actually felt he played better in Maastricht than he did in Mannheim when he dropped the 10 legs in terms of the standard of play, but in terms of dominance, that is as good as we have seen from anybody. 160 checkout may need to go, and it could well go for MVG. Double top! What a shot, Michael van Gerwen!
Boy, did he need that, because Rob Cross was on a number that I think he may have taken. That's exactly what Michael van Gerwen needed in this final, a catalyst.
87.
And that was like putting francium in a glass of hydrochloric acid.
Professor Nicholson with the
93.
chemical analogies. He does have a victory over Michael van Gerwen this year, Rob Cross. He has beaten everybody in the top 20 apart from Phil Taylor and Gary Anderson.
40.
His win against Michael came on the European Tour. It was in Leverkusen. It wasn't in a final, though. There are very few people who've beaten Michael van Gerwen in finals in the European Tour. In fact, only Peter Wright, Phil Taylor and Michael Smith. It is a very elite club that Rob Cross could join here tonight.
98.
19 Euro Tour titles to his name, Michael van Gerwen, looking to make it 20 this evening. Rob Cross still searching for a first that would put him provisionally into a spot for the Grand Slam of darts as well. It is a huge prize for Rob Cross.
Seems a little wrong that the year that Rob Cross has had, he could potentially not be there.
Well, 4 Pro Tour titles to his name, but as it is,
84.
Adrian Lewis would steal ahead of him for winning a Players' Championship event. He is #4 in the world, Adrian. Double 18 for a 13-darter and a 2-1 lead. Looks a good guide. Does not use it.
These are the kind of numbers that you fancy, because it's 2 at the same treble. There's 1. There's another for double 6.
120.
Oh, he's limited himself. He will admit that that was a poor shot, because the first 2 darts were bang on.
That's not bang on. That's closer. And this time he does find the mark. Double 9 for Rob Cross. Edges him in front again. He managed to stick with Michael van Gerwen in that final on the Euro Tour they contested. At least in the early stages, but he faded Rob Cross as Michael van Gerwen just maintained that relentless ability to fire in sub-15 dart legs. He knows what he's facing here, Rob Cross. He knows what he has to do. Knowing what you've got to do and doing it are two very different things, though.
And there is scar tissue for Rob Cross earlier in the evening on double 9. He had 3 clean darts at it, missed all 3, and he was able to put that out of his mind after the first dart was way left. He's been able to compose himself and get the job done. That shows class.
And he certainly has looked classy, Rob Cross, in his first year of PDC darts.
101.
We've only seen him in 4 major tournaments. Beaten by Michael van Gerwen in his first year at the UK Open as he played as an amateur. MVG went on to win it.
96.
Beaten by Peter Wright this year's UK Open. Peter Wright went on to win it. He was beaten at the World Match Play by Adrian Lewis, who defied an average of almost 105 from Rob Cross. And the only real disappointment for Rob Cross was his performance at the World Grand Prix on his debut, where the bronzed Adonis, Steve Beaton. So look, he's been beaten by the world number 1, the world number 2, the world number 4, and the legend Steve Beaton. Okay, double 18, and there it is. Bit of a change of method for Michael van Gerwen, but the result, predictable, 2-all.
Well, on 68, a lot of people like the tactics of that. A lot of people these days are going treble 12 for double 16, because if you look at the line, the vertical line between treble 12 and double 16, it's very similar. However, if you go single 20, single 12, whether it be the 12 or the 21st, it's very similar to where double 18 is. You don't have to shift how high you're going. I see the logic of it.
You see a lot of players nowadays looking at the same areas of the board. There you see the averages, 97 apiece. Rob Cross outscoring MVG in the early part of legs, but you know van Gerwen can ramp that up. Overall, tournament average of 100 for Michael van Gerwen, 99 pretty much for Rob Cross. Elite level darts. Make no mistake, that is what Rob Cross has been playing all the way through this year.
And let's not take for granted the fact that Michael van Gerwen can only bash people up. He can scrap when he needs to. All you got to do is think back to that European Championship final with Michael against Gary Anderson, where it was Gary's event, and somehow Michael van Gerwen had enough in his locker
86
to steal it at the end with sheer brilliance.
Yeah, won the last 4 legs of that final to nick it in a last leg decider against Gary Anderson, the man who Michael van Gerwen admits is most likely to live with him at his best and push him. Gary Anderson is one of only 2 men to beat him in finals this year, of course. Rob Cross would love to add his name to that list.
Double 18. He thought about the treble because it was open. He may not come back in this leg. What will Michael get with the first dart?
Double.
Stops.
There's one. And there's another. Michael van Gerwen gets the crucial break of throw with a tops finish. Rob Cross couldn't go double. Michael van Gerwen could. Advantage MVG.
I'm not even sure Rob Cross even saw that. He was too busy having a glass of water and just thinking about his next shot.
99.
Well, just taking the enormity of the task that faces Rob Cross here. Despite this incredible year that he has had, he will top the Players' Championship Order of Merit. He has topped it. He's going to be the number 1 seed in Minehead at the Players' Championship Finals. He is going to be number 3 on the overall Pro Tour Order of Merit. He is going to be among the seeds for the European Championship. But he's won £140,000 going into this weekend in his debut year. Michael van Gerwen has won £160,000 on the European Tour alone this year. He sat way ahead of everybody at the Order of Merit for his 2-year ranking of £1.4 million. This man has dominated the game for the last 3 or 4 years, and he has dominated the European Tour. 6 titles last year, looking for a 6th this year.
Rob Cross will relish this. He wants to get better. He wants to be the best in the world. Nothing wrong with that ambition. And one of the reasons why he's struggling to get practice partners in his area is because nobody can beat him. He wants to practice against people who will test him. Well, who's better to test you than the world number 1? Guarantee you Rob Cross is not going to go for 3 bulls here.
82, Robbie Nicole, 150.
What route will it be? Voltage. Another one of those. Just giving it a stare. Does he like the lie? Well, he's found it. Double 18. For a massive one. To hit straight back at the world number 1.
132.
Oh, that would have been something. I love that finish. I love that way to go for it. Double 6.
53.
Always the danger of going for the 25. When you're so good, you hit the ball, you only get 1 dart at the double, and Rob Cross to break back. Double 9 comes to his aid again. 3-all.
2 of the best players in the world. It's not about sub-15 dart legs all the time. Sometimes it's just about getting it done. Small margins. 1 man misses, 1 man hits.
I absolutely love that from Rob Cross. He's just broken back against the world number 1. MVG's gone off to the table, not trying to engage, not look at him. Rob Cross has purposefully gone over there and tried to stare him in the eyes to let him know he's in this game. MVG wasn't having any of it. Not engaging at all. I know Rob Cross wants
96.
respect from the top players in the world. He should have it after the year he's had. But he wants them to acknowledge that he is right up there and playing some of the best darts in the world this year. And I think that was Rob Cross just trying to assert his authority.
Well, with some guys, he's taking respect. It's as simple as that. I mean, look at what he said to Adrian Lewis after Lewis beat him at Blackpool. Says, I'm going to take your place, Sonny Jim. I mean, how many times can you look a 2-time world champion in the eye and say, you know what, I'm better than you. You might have beat me tonight, but after this, I'm going to be better than you.
60.
However, having broken the world number 1, this has been a poor start to this leg, and Michael van Gerwen is going to punish him in the best possible way. It's his first 180, the first one of this final.
That's flabbergasting, really. This is the 7th leg. It's been that kind of final. It's been a bit edgy. Here he goes.
139. Michael Carr, 132.
Doesn't have to go the bull route here, but maybe he wants to do it to send a message.
92.
That'll leave him tops. Rob Cross not down to a finish. Michael van Gerwen has become so expert at knowing how to manage these Euro Tour final days, playing 4 games in a day, and that 13-darter puts him back in charge of this one. But sometimes you have to play your best game of the tournament in the final. We've seen MVG do that. The Euro Tour record average is around about the 118 mark that he produced a few years back, beating Gary Anderson in an incredible final. When he needs his best, Michael van Gerwen is the best in the world at finding it.
We're about to find out how much Rob Cross learned from Mannheim. He was in this exact position, 4-3 down. After that, Michael van Gerwen took the title. Can Rob Cross summon some extra strength, some extra accuracy
48
to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Well, he hasn't done it with that visit. And Michael van Gerwen can't leave a finish from here, but he can get himself very, very close, just the ton. It is an opportunity. These aren't the averages we've been seeing from this pair over the course of this weekend. But it doesn't matter. It's just about winning 96. The final.
Well, more often than not, when you do see finals, they're not the best standard because of tiredness. Sundays are long days for these guys. And one thing that may come into this is the fact that Rob Cross played his first game today at 1:30. Michael van Gerwen played his first game at 4:30. The longer day for Rob, is it taking its toll?
Oh, my word. It's marvellous from Michael van Gerwen. 150 checkout to add to the 160 he took out earlier on, and it may well be a fatal blow for Rob Cross's hopes. Look at that, 3-ton plus checkouts, but 2 enormous ones.
Well, Rob, have you got a few more of those? Have you got 3 legs in you to take out the world number 1 and this title? Point of no return.
Four perfect darts, but no more. We've seen a couple of times this weekend players have been on the 9-darter. Of course, you don't see a 9-darter in the European Tour. It just can't happen since Ross Smith hit one in 2013. Rob Cross will just take this leg by leg. You see Van Gerwen's winning legs. All of them in 15 darts apart from that 13-darter. It's tidy stuff without being MVG in full overdrive.
Van Gerwen looking for a 133 to leave 170.
58.
6 starts from 164 for Cross. That seeding of 6 is just going to continue to get better, you know. Doesn't have to go for this. He's going to set it up. Very smart indeed. I think this is going to be 5-4. This is getting a little juicy. It's got to go now. Can't afford to give Van Gerwen a shot at 105.
Certainly
He's been
can't.
deadly here.
Chasing the crowd, they thought it was in.
Well, they've given him it. Paul Hinks hasn't. That's the most important thing. That's it, though.
5-4, an enormous leg of darts coming up here. Michael van Gerwen looking to close it out and claim a 6th Euro Tour title of the year. It's just a ton. It may be enough.
Well, the sick part of me wants this to go 11 legs. Rob Cross wants it to go 11 legs. Michael van Gerwen does not.
Is that in?
95.
No, it wasn't.
I think maybe he should have switched on that last start. It was a little bit awkward.
45.
A chance, an opportunity. Rob Cross has to seize it.
Yeah, he'll stay there now. How did he get that in?
125.
That's the ability of Rob Cross, you see. He can get them so close together.
Yeah, he's playing with new darts that have been made for him recently in the last few months.
130.
Couldn't stop talking about them when he first got them. Certainly an improvement on the previous set he'd been using for years and years and years, which are all different weights.
Oh, he needed more than that. Van Gerwen. You're licking his chops at 218.
98.
That'll do.
He has already taken out 3-ton plus finishes in this match, including 2 enormous ones, 160 and 150. It is a Shanghai finish on the 20s for Michael van Gerwen to claim yet another Euro Tour title, his 20th of his career. Rob Cross leaves the 167, it's a finish. But he may not even get a go at it, because double top
100.
is not found by MVG.
167.
Well, if he hits this, the iron ring that you award every month will go to Rob Cross. Oh, so close.
More match darts for Michael van Gerwen in the final to condemn Rob Cross to a 2nd Euro Tour final defeat on the wire. Inside, but there it is! MVG reigns supreme in Europe once again. A 6th European Tour title of the year, a 20th of his career. Michael van Gerwen storms to the title here in Göttingen, and he will go to the European Championship once again as a dominant force on the Euro Tour. Rob Cross once again beaten in a Euro Tour final by the best player in the world. This time he got closer, but not quite close enough. That brings an end to the European Tour for 2017. We will be back at the start of next year. More events, more new venues, and potentially more record crowds. 3,500 here in Göttingen to see MVG win his 6th of the year. A record crowd for a darts event in Germany. But that could be almost tripled next year when the Premier League comes to Berlin. Michael van Gerwen will be there. Could Rob Cross be part of the 10-man elite lineup? We'll find out. Here's your presentation. It's been a pleasure watching the Euro Tour with you this year. Here's your finalist, Rob Cross, and your winner once again, mighty Michael van Gerwen.
Und der Champion der Happy Bad European Darts Trophy 2017 ist die Nummer 1 der Welt, MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen. Er holt sich ein Preisgeld in Höhe von 25.000 Pfund. Es ist sein 20. Erfolg auf der European Tour. Michael, congratulations. I just said the 20th European Tour win. That's amazing.
That's more than anyone else, huh?
I think so, yeah.
No, I think I played really good today. Only the final, I think, wasn't a great game, but who cares? It's about win the tournament, and that's exactly what I did. And I had a rubbish last weekend. I had to make sure I put it on some good performance again. I think I did that, and I played well today. What I just said before, not the final, but who cares? I won the tournament, and I'm really happy with this trophy here in Göttingen.
Yeah, sometimes it's interesting, a totally different matching compared to the semi-final against Simon Whitlock. But you had these checkouts, the 160, the 150. These are the big points in such a final.
That makes you a winner. If you do things like that in the right moments, that makes you win a game like that, especially when you're not in your game, or then you need to make a difference with a good finish, and that's exactly what I did twice.
Michael van Gerwen sagt, es war ein tolles Turnier, aber vielleicht nicht das beste Finale, das er gespielt hat. Und trotzdem, es waren die großen Momente mit dabei. Das sind die Momente, die dann solch ein Finale entscheiden, die ihn dann auch zu einem solchen Champion machen. Rob, just one question. I know losing a final is not the best thing. Second time after Mannheim. But a final, I mean, congratulations for a great tournament.
Yeah, it weren't meant to be tonight. Maybe I tried too hard. Instead of just letting them go, I tried too hard. But fair play to Michael, that 160. And he's fantastic anyway. So we go forward and keep going, keep learning, and keep getting better. So there's nothing wrong.
Also er sagt, alles in Ordnung. Das war ein klasse Moment von Michael van Gerwen, diese 160 Punkte zu checken. Und es geht für ihn weiter auch zu lernen. Das sind für ihn alles neue Situationen. Michael, last question. Next week is the next weekend in Germany, the German Darts Masters. Looking forward to that, Düsseldorf?
Of course I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to any tournament where I'm competing in. If I'm competing in a tournament, I always try 200%. Doesn't matter where it is. If it's Germany, Holland, in the UK, or anywhere else in the world, I'm always trying my best, and I hope, of course, that I can put another good performance over there. But I'm first going to enjoy this win, because it's a good win. It's been a hard weekend for me, and I'm really glad with this trophy.
Yeah. And we had a great crowd. It was a German record crowd, 3,524 fans here in the Lokhalle.
They've been absolutely fantastic. Dank u wel.
Also, das war's von der Happy Bad European Darts Trophy. Jetzt werden noch ein paar Fotos gemacht. Und Michael sagt, klar, nächstes Wochenende geht's nach Düsseldorf. Und er ist natürlich einer, das wissen wir alle, der, wenn er zu einem Turnier reist, die Dinger auch gewinnen will. Und er freut sich jetzt erst einmal über diesen Erfolg hier in Göttingen. Ein großes Dankeschön geht auch euch allen, die ihr gekommen seid heute. Ihr könnt mitnehmen, ihr wart dabei. Zuschauerrekord in Deutschland. Ihr habt die Nummer 1 der Welt erlebt. Wir hatten ein interessantes Turnier. Es waren 7 Spieler aus den Top 15 heute noch mit dabei. Kommt gut nach Hause, kommt sicher nach Hause. Wir sind im nächsten Jahr wieder hier in der Lokhalle von Göttingen.